The single most important skill that all successful artists have is the willingness to fail and just make bad art. The only way you're going to be able to create the art that you truly love is to create awful art on your way there. It's a harsh but true reality. There is no quick fix. It's a process and there's just no way around it. Now, I don't mean for you to go out there and create art that sucks on purpose. What I mean is that you need to be okay with creating art that you're not in love with, art that doesn't meet your expectations, at least for a while. This is why I always nag my students and everyone here on YouTube to use a sketchbook or an art journal, because the more you create, the better you will become. I'm often asked what I think is a great way to learn fast, and as I said, there is no quick fix, but creating as much as possible is actually the next best thing, because the more you do, the faster you're going to get there. I always share this story of how I created my YouTube channel with my students because I think it had such a big impact on my learning process. I was so tired of watching people create this perfect art that I wasn't capable of creating. So when I started my channel, I decided that if I filmed it, I would upload it. And the feedback that I got on those videos gave me permission to fail, and that made my journey so much easier. But I would hold my breath every time I pressed upload and think to myself, you're going to get so many bad comments. But you know what? I didn't. I was surrounded by people who were amazed at what I was creating. But in my head, it was horrible. That taught me that what I think is not always the truth. And to be honest with you, looking back at some of those videos, I can totally see how harsh I was being on myself. No, my art wasn't what I wanted it to be, and I can totally see that I was still learning. But I kept going, and that is something that I never ever took credit for. That's something that I know many artists do as well, because I hear comments like the thoughts that I had from my students all the time. So I want to share something with you today that I hope will help if this is something that you can relate to. And before I even touch any paint or art materials today, I want to show you one of my private books. So this is my studio journal. It's a private place where I can sort of jot down anything that, I have in my head. Or I could even be creative in it if I want to sometimes, but just without all the outside noise involved. I never share the content in my studio journal with anyone, but I do teach you how to use these journals in my course because it's been such an important part of my own journey. So what I'm about to show you is something that I don't do much of anymore, but I did do it a lot throughout my whole learning process because it's such a great way to kind of see your fears and just be reminded of that they're just thoughts, not truths. Writing down your limiting beliefs is one of the best ways to clear your head when those negative thoughts start circling. It has always helped me create distance and start a painting from a place of belief in myself. For me, this isn't about fixing anything, it's about getting honest. Your thoughts might be different from mine, and they'll probably change over time, and that's totally okay. What matters is that you know that when you put them down on paper, they're going to start to lose their grip. You begin to see them for what they are, just stories that you've been telling yourself to stay safe from things that don't actually matter, even if they do happen. All you have to do is write and let it be a quiet moment of truth telling just for you. So sometimes when I'm finished writing in my studio journal, I'll get creative, but this is not a book of beauty by any means. It's just a place where I write down ideas, beliefs, and sometimes I test new materials in it, or I'll add photos of things that inspire me. It's also a place where I scribble down observations that I've made, dreams that I've had, or just random thoughts. I also use it as a tool to write down memories about my own journey that are important to share both here and in my course, or take note of things that I can use to help my students grow. I also love to use it to document experimentations and write down the materials that I've used, the techniques I applied, and the outcomes. It's such a big part of my life that I actually call it bestie. So even after years of painting and learning, you still have doubts. You still have limiting beliefs. The only difference is that you learn to work beside them and you stop letting them define who you are. I wholeheartedly believe that the best way to do that is to paint, paint, paint. Because every time you do, you're showing yourself that what you think is not the truth. So maybe you're watching this and thinking, I want to feel that kind of connection to my process. That is exactly what I want to help you do too. On August 11th, I'll be hosting a free week long clarity workshop. And if you want to know more about it, you can find the link below. So I've showed you my studio journals and you've seen me work in my art journal on here many times, but I do have a couple of more books. And the one I want to talk about and show you is this one. These books I call my ugly art books. I use them to do whatever I please in. I have one stuck under my coffee table, I have one next to my computer, and I even have one in my bag. I use them so I can practice creativity without any kind of constraints. There's no goal with them other than having fun and actually getting to know my own marks. So some days I create 2 to 3 pages, while others I only have a half a page done. Sometimes I can continue on an unfinished painting, but one thing I always do is listen to my heart. This journey of making authentic art is deeply personal, and it's all about building resilience and trust in your own process, and it has nothing to do with perfectionism. Dedicating a whole book to messy, unrefined, or just plain ugly art is the most freeing thing that I have ever done for myself as an artist. You can scribble, splash, you can use colors that you hate together. You can do anything that comes to mind without any kind of fear. It's all about separating your self-worth from the result of your paintings. It's all about honesty and knowing who you are, even if the outcome is horrible. So, what is one small, imperfect piece of art that you can make today to give yourself permission to grow? I want you to think about that and maybe give it a try. Let it grow into something that you do because it makes you feel good. Let it be something that you do for you. All right, thanks for watching. And as always, I'll see you next week.